Well, we hope you can join us for a tasty beverage and a little chat here because we're starting off another season of the Brew, season 2. I can't believe it already has been a year to be doing this show, but we want you to grab a beer and join our conversation. Joel, what beverage are you having this evening?
I actually started drinking tea, and I stopped drinking alcohol.
You're drinking tea?
It was actually my big announcement. The Brew would be a good time to announce that I'm going to be quitting.
Well, okay, it is a drinking show, but hey, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
No, that's not alcohol. This is a Red Bull or something.
Yeah, that's right. We've all had to live, in a house, in an apartment, in a home in the suburbs, but we all had to deal with a neighbor at one point, whether they're good, whether they're bad. We want you to share your stories. Have you ever lived next to an annoying neighbor? What's the worst thing they have done? We put this out on social media, got a lot of great answers, but Joel, let me go to you. Have you ever had an annoying neighbor, and what's the worst thing that ever happened?
Yeah, I had an annoying neighbor. I had a couple of them, actually. The first place that I ever lived in by myself, whenever I would throw a party, first of all, it was 2010, so I was just a college kid. But whenever I would throw a party, the guy downstairs would come up at like 11, 12 o'clock at night, knock on the door and go, "Please, sir, can you please be quiet? My kid's trying to sleep." That was fucking annoying.
Oh, man. So you're that neighbor that loves to throw the parties, or at least you used to be. I'm not surprised. You're busted. Well, hey, I had in my last apartment building I lived in, I had a family that lived upstairs, and they had 3 kids, and they couldn't handle the kids. The kids were absolutely annoying and ran crazy. These kids were so bad that they would tell the mother, like, "Knock it the F off!" yelling at the kids, and the kids would yell back at their mother, "F you, Mom, I'm not."
What does the F stand for?
You know what it stands for. But they would run and scream all the time, constantly. So, I mean, this would go on, say, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, just full blast running up and down the hallway. It was insane.
No, you're going to be ready to paralyze.
They had to move out because the building's being torn down because they're putting a condo high-rise on top of it. I ran into her, though, recently, and surprise, surprise, the parents got a divorce. They couldn't handle their stuff. They couldn't handle their kids. And then they had twins and then a third one. It was just a nightmare. It was a nightmare to live underneath. It was absolutely horrible. So, sometimes when you have a family of kids, you got to remember, you do have downstairs neighbors, so you got to be worried about that. All right, well, we put a poll out on social media, though, and I got to ask this. So, have you ever lived next to an annoying neighbor? Well, 78% of you said, yes, I have, and 22% said, no, thank God, I'm lucky. I'm surprised it's not 100% because every place I've ever lived, there's always that one neighbor that just drives you nuts. I had one when I lived in Pittsburgh, and I parked on a city street, and a woman, she had a flower bed over there, and she would always freak out when I would park next to her flowers. She's like, can you move your vehicle? I'm like, I'm on a city street. You're the one that planted flowers next to the sidewalk. So there's always somebody that's going to get you crazy like that. But Joel, what do you say we take a couple of viewer comments? And let's go to the first one. Edie says, my new neighbors, very young couple, loud video game playing all hours of the night. They fight, screaming, furniture throwing. But hey, I mean just her. I have yet to hear him speak. I think she's just nuts. I've never even seen them yet. Ooh, so Edie definitely sounds like she's living next to a domestic dispute. I hope you never had to deal with anything like that.
Oh, yeah, I've heard it before. What I usually do is go out. If it wakes me up, I'm already up, right? So I'll go get a drink and some popcorn. I'll go hang out on my balcony and just listen.
Yeah, it's the other one that I had a friend of mine. It didn't happen to me, but he actually could hear his neighbors having sex. That's the other thing. His bedroom was down below him, and they could just totally hear that going on all the time. I don't think I want to know when my neighbors are having the sexy time. Yeah. All right, let's take another viewer comment. Bronx Bombers says they're so nosy and they take up 2 parking spots when it could have been 1. Parking is ridiculous around here. Hey, I agree with her. Living in the city, parking is a nightmare as it was. That's why I was just sharing that story about the woman yelling at me about her flowers. But that's the worst when you have people hogging up more than one space. That happened in your complex there?
Shout out to Lisa, by the way. She's talking about Baltimore because that's where she's from. But yeah, I've had where people take my spot because here we pay a little bit extra and we have 1 parking spot. And whenever someone does that, usually if it's the first time, I'll put a little note on the car that just says, hey, you're in my spot. It's not a big deal. Just don't do it anymore. And if I see the car there twice, then I have them towed.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize you had to pay for parking there.
And I've done that before. That's a true story. I've done that.
You actually had somebody
They ignored the note one time. I had their ass towed at like 4 a.m.
Oh, man.
I didn't give a shit.
No, I hear that because the last building I lived in with those crazy kids, I had assigned parking as well that I paid for. And I can't tell you how many times I came home and their friends either took the spot or some knucklehead that just decided to pull in here in the neighborhood. I mean, living in a city like here in Jersey City, there is no parking. They put up all these high rises, and parking is a premium. So especially when you pay for a spot, it's not right for some jackass to take it and think that's perfectly okay. So no, good on you, Joel. You shouldn't tow them out of there. You're paying for it. They park there. They're out. Talk about
Yeah, I mean, courtesy is to give them one warning. That's exactly what courtesy is.
Yeah.
After that, no.
Yeah. Well, Von Bush Yankee says, what annoys him about his neighbors? Smoking cigarettes. In my building here, there's a guy.
Does anyone even do that anymore?
In my building here,
does anyone under the age of 50 still do that shit?
That is true. Well, your lower class people do still smoke a lot. But there's somebody who lives in a second floor.
Good point, Joe. The trailer folk do.
Yeah. That there's a guy that smokes so heavy here on the second floor, I had to actually, in my bathroom, I had to seal up the vent because the bathroom would fill up with cigarette smoke. The guy must be taking a shit and smoking. I mean, I know he is because it's the same. It has to be. And sometimes you can smell it outside the building here. And I've actually also, there's something in the upper floor because I've seen like lit cigarettes go flying past the window here. I mean, talk about low class and you're flicking lit cigarettes out the window. I can't wait till something goes up in flames here because this is the way this person decides to get rid of them. So we have 2 smokers in the building here. I'm glad, though, it's not pot, because that would be bad. But you used to have a former roommate that was a smoker.
With your luck, they flick it out the window, it hits a dry bush, and lights your whole place on fire.
Yeah. Let's take another viewer comment. Millsy says, neighbor, N-E-I-G-H-B-O-U-R, note spelling the proper English way. It should be the debate. Ha ha. No, Webster changed all the spellings in 1806. A boring subject for your show, though. Oh, okay, so neighbor in Britain, that's how they also spell like words like color and other things with that extra U, but that's...
Shout out to Sean.
Yeah. I guess you can't get away from crazy neighbors over there in the UK either, just like here. All right, I want to thank our live viewers for joining us on the show today. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss more of this show or Kicking Back Josie Joe. And this Thursday, it's an epic battle. Beer Battleship. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Joel, you and I go at it, and we totally trash Las Vegas hotel room with beer as we go against it, a game of Battleship with horrible consequences for the loser. That's Thursday. Kicking Back with Jersey Joe.
The worst of it.
It is on, and it was that was probably one of the crazier web shows at least I've ever done. What do you think?
This is going to be a really good one, you guys. You should definitely watch.
It is. In fact, I'm going to call it a double-length episode because it's kind of long, but it's still pretty good. So I want to thank our live viewers for chiming in and enjoying the conversation. Jersey Joe here. I just clicked off from the box, but we'll see you next time, I hope.